Welcome 4-plussers and YouTubers to Battle Report 25. You will notice two annotations. In my second game of last week, Corey was kind enough to do the battle report. The other link will take you back to game 1 of week 7. Corey will have 200 point bonus this game due to the tile differential in his manufactorums. And I'll have two universal special rules, but they're really not going to come into play, so I won't mention them. And I also have a bonus to my pre-game rolls. Last week was a very good week for the Dark Angels. I was able to take 2 territories and spring into a narrow lead in the campaign. Intel says Chaos has a lightly defended manufactorum between the Tau territories in red and some Remnant Necron forces in brown. We hope to take it out and gain a foothold that we can use to squeeze the Tau should they not agree to withdraw from the planet. We rolled the Scouring mission with Vanguard deployment. It'll be night, and I did steal the initiative. The objectives and their point values are marked in the stars there. Corey's Chaos forces have brought 3 rhinos filled with Plague Marines, some Nurgle bikers with the Warlord, and a Soul Grinder of Nurgle. In reserve, he has a Helldrake and a load of Plague Bearers with a Herald. The Dark Angels have a Devastator squad with the Librarian Warlord. This game I don't have Prescience, instead I'm running with Forewarning and Misfortune. I have a Land Raider filled with Deathwing Knights, 2 Rhinos with full tactical squads that are combat squatted out, and then a Razorback with a 6-man tactical squad. In reserve, waits a Vindicator. Turn 1 Dark Angels. I don't move, we go straight into shooting. Nightfight protects the enemy pretty well. And the result of all my fire is a few missing hull points and 1 exploded rhino. Does net me first blood, not terrible. Turn 1 Chaos, they advance cautiously, stay in cover, and or in your transport. Flat out in the shooting phase. Flat out in the shooting phase to get a nice 4+ save on those bikes. The Soul Grinder takes a shot, does manage to kill a single Devastator. 2+ cover isn't always good enough, as I find out. Turn 2 Dark Angels. Vindicator arrives and we reorganize our vehicles. The Rhinos are going to prepare for a turn 4-5 delivery of the combat squads inside to the high point value objectives. But we're maintaining 4-up cover from the ruins. As you can see, I'm really kind of buried behind that Land Raider in those ruins. In the shooting phase, the Vindicator scatters off the bikes and ends up clipping the Rhinos, destroys one and damages the other. The remainder of my units thin the bikes out by half. We kill 4 bikes and hang a wound on the Warlord. If you've watched my older battle reports, you're probably aware that I face a Helldrake in about 2/3 of my games, if not more. And as a result, I've become pretty good at mitigating their effectiveness. So here's what happens. Turn 2, the Chaos Soul Grinder advances. The Helldrake arrives, but I've got my stuff all piled up in such a way that he can't vector strike anything. He's going to be stuck with just a Bale Flamer shot. Corey is a very smart player, and he realizes that I am very much in control of, or that he is very much in control of the good objectives, and I have taken a chunk of his firepower away in those bikes. So he takes a play out of my book, and he turtles up out of line of sight or in good cover. The Helldrake uses its Demon Forge and goes ahead and flames at the Rhinos. Corey's a very good student of the game, and he realizes that if he can bust my troops out of their transports, he's pretty much guaranteed to win because I am way too far away from the high point value objectives. Lucky for me, he just manages a single glance. Turn 3 Dark Angels. We move up with the Land Raider and transports in tow. I immobilize the Rhino behind the ruins there on difficult terrain. This is pretty bad as I have 2 scoring units inside. The Deathwing and Knights do hop out of their transport to get a reasonable 5-inch charge on some Plague Marines if we destroy their Rhino. In the shooting phase, the following assault phase, the Vindicator explodes the Rhino, and the Devastators and the Land Raider kill a couple more bikes due to some great 4-up saves from Corey. The Knights dispatch the Plague Marines from the exploded Rhino and then consolidate to get to the next squad. Chaos turn 3, the Soul Grinder advances. The Plague Bearers arrive. The Helldrake exits the table and stuns the Razorback. The Plague Marines retreat from the Knights, which is a good idea. They got some Strength 6 3+ weapons. Still haven't burned their Smite mode. They're pretty badass. The Bikes seek to conserve a fast attack kill point since this is the Scouring mission. And it is a scoring unit as well. So they go ahead and move back over there, and they're going to move into the ruins and try and take that 2-point objective out of line of sight. The Soul Grinder gets a glance on a Rhino and a Razorback closest to it. The 2 remaining squads of Plague Marines, actually just a single squad of Plague Marines, shoot at the Knights and manage to kill 1. Turn 4 Dark Angels, it's full speed ahead. We need to capture some objectives to win this game. The Land Raider turns to face the Soul Grinder. The Vindicator advances to get a shot on the farthest Plague Marines. And the Knights advance towards the nearest Plague Marine squad, giving us a 4-inch charge. In the shooting phase, I fail to do anything of value, but the Rhino flat outs to escape the Helldrake Vector Strike when it re-enters next turn. At the end of the Dark Angel's turn, the most epic series of fails happen. My buddy Paul arrives, and with him comes the Aura of Ones. He's that guy that every gaming club has that can roll a 1 about 50% of the time. Great for leadership tests, but not so good for the rest of the game. I go ahead and declare my charge with the Deathwing Knights, and I take 2 wounds on Overwatch, and I promptly roll 2 1s, and 2 Knights die. I then figure, okay, 6-inch charge, I can still make that, right? 2 more 1s. So 4 1s in a row, best laid plans gone to hell. But, you know, moving into Chaos turn 4, the Helldrake comes back in, and the Plague Marines that were once trying to escape the Knights' advance, they move up to finish the Knights off. The Lonesome Plague Bearers move to claim their 2-point objective, and they will never be seen again because they essentially don't play anymore in the game. They just hold that objective from now to eternity. The Plague Marines open the Rhino for the Helldrake, and the Drake does flame 3 of them down. In case you're wondering, max unit coherency and odd shapes are another solid defense against the Helldrake, as you can see. It was tough for him to lay a flamer template across all 5 of anyone in one of my combat squads. The Plague Marines managed to finish off the Knights in close combat, and they lose only 1 Marine in the process. Dark Angels turn 5. I need to get a move on as I'm going to lose this game. So of course my Librarian decides now is the time to perils himself. But he does successfully cast Forewarning on his squad for the pending Bale Flamer, or so I think there's a Bale Flamer coming for him. Combat squad hops out of the Rhino to claim the objective at the corner of the ruins. There are 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. Again, split up your Marines for that Bale Flamer. The Rhino, which repaired itself last turn, then drives 12 inches with the remaining combat squad inside. We're going to try and get as close to the 4-point objective as we can, but we really need the game to move into turn 6 to be effective. That immobilized hurt. The Razorback pulls up to halt the Soul Grinder's advance and give the Land Raider 1 more turn of shooting. It's a sacrificial Razorback. Time to doubly claim the objective up here, and in the shooting phase, the Vindicator kills a couple of those Plague Marines back behind the Rhino there, and everybody else piles on to the Plague Marines that were holding that 3-point objective there, and we kill them. Turn 5 Chaos, the Bikers return to the match. They're going to try and get those guys off the 3-point objective. Unfortunately, they do take a difficult terrain test because they're leaving those ruins, and one of them fails, and it kills the last surviving member of the Fast Attack Bike Squad, and I guess toughness 6 isn't enough when you're taking difficult terrain. But that does give me a kill point and removes a scoring unit from Corey. So that works out there. In close combat, the Soul Grinder explodes the Razorback. There will be 6 Marines there. I took this picture kind of in the middle of getting them out, so there was 2 wandering Marines that should actually be in that crater. I apologize for that. Bad Marines. The Chaos Lord easily dispatches 5 Marines with his Black Mace and then consolidates to get the lone Flamer guy next turn. I want to stop the action, take a moment to discuss why the Helldrake left the table on turn 5 and didn't go into hover mode. Essentially, Corey calculated out that he would win the game if it had ended turn 5, but on turn 6 or 7, he would have a much harder time winning as his troops are being depleted, and I still have a ton of firepower left. So leaving the table allows him to redeploy it, and remember, it is a scoring unit. So by not going into hover mode, he doesn't risk it getting killed on turn 6 if the game continues. So anyhow, if the game ends now, Chaos is going to win. They have Line Breaker, a 2-point objective and a 4-point objective for 7 points. And the Dark Angels have a 3-point objective and First Blood and a fast attack kill for 5 points. So all in all, I think the Helldrake leaving is a brilliant move. And most people probably wouldn't think of it. The game does continue into turn 6. The Dark Angels advance. We need to kill Plague Marines. And the Vindicator and the Tactical Marines combined for only a single Plague Marine kill. The Vindicator was actually getting pretty good hits, but I was rolling a lot of ones to wound. We are at least contesting the 4-point objective now. The Marines from the Razorback climb and run through the window into the ruins there and snatch up that 2-point objective. All my heavy weapons are going to focus fire on the Biker Lord that you see off on the left-hand side, and he's going to make 6 4-up sigil saves and frustrate the hell out of me. The score is now 7-3 in the Dark Angel's favor, but Corey still has a turn left. Turn 6, Chaos. The Helldrake comes back in. Vector strikes the Marines in the ruins, but only manages to kill 1. The Helldrake is now holding the 3-point objective in front of him near the Chaos Biker Lord, should the Lord dispatch that lone tactical Marine that's contesting. The Aura of Paul must still be around, as the Helldrake flames and only kills 1 of the 2 hit Marines down on the lower level. The Lord does his job and kills the last tactical Marine. The Plague Marines shoot and then charge, but combat's ineffective on both sides. The Soul Grinder explodes the Land Raider. That's okay. Land Raider did its job, which was slow down the Soul Grinder. If the game ends now, it's a narrow Dark Angels victory, 7-6. We both have 5 points in objectives, and I have First Blood and a fast attack kill, and Chaos is going to have Line Breaker. Corey rolls his death. That's what we call it. You roll for the end of the game if you're the one that's going to lose. And the game does continue on to turn 7. Dark Angels turn 7. The Marines spread out, take advantage of the multi-level ruins rules. And we're controlling a Skyfire Nexus. The Vindicator's going to go take over the Land Raider's job from last turn. He's going to go block that Soul Grinder's advance and keep him off my scoring unit there on the 3-point objective. And there is much pew-pewing. The Devastators finally finished their job and killed the Chaos Warlord. The 3 lone Marines on the Skyfire Nexus shoot a crack missile and grenade up the Helldrake's butt, and they managed to get an immobilize and a weapon destroyed result. It could not have come at a better time. That's pretty fantastic for me. Close combat with the Plague Marines that are off the screen will again be a draw. Turn 7, Chaos. The Helldrake moves to contest the 3-point objective at the very top of the picture there. Let's see here. What else happens? The Soul Grinder fails to dislodge my Marines holding the 2-point objective. He actually doesn't go for the Vindicator, which is a smart play. The Plague Marines do show some spirit, however. They kill Sarge. Actually, the champion kills Sarge in a challenge. Ends up with an unworthy boon. The Dark Angels do try to flee, but alas, the Plague Marines are silly and hold them in combat and keep them denying the objective. The game ends. Dark Angels victory. We both have 2 points in objectives. I have First Blood, Slay, and Fast Attack kill. Chaos has Line Breaker. So, long story short, it's 5-3, Dark Angels victory. Very close game, all the way to the end. Battle took its toll on my forces, though, unfortunately, and we weren't strong enough to conquer that Manufactorum. So it was a hollow victory, but still a victory nonetheless. If you watch my videos, you know I take the time once in a while to discuss rules failures by GW. At the end of the game, I believe there was a failure, and that was sweeping advance. Essentially, the sweeping advance success by Corey had a negative effect. It lost him the game because it held my Marines there. This is one of those rules that doesn't always give you a benefit, especially when you're playing against and they shall know no fear Marines. Ideally, in my opinion, sweeping advance should be an option, not automatic. The player should be allowed to decide if they want to sweep. If sweep was option, Corey could have won the game. He would have said, I let you flee, consolidate onto the 4-point objective, and would have beaten me 7-5. In my opinion, it's always better to let the player make choices. It adds to that tactical element that we all love. So, sweeping advance, my opinion, maybe 7th edition GW, if anybody there watches battle reports or gives a shit. Maybe you make sweeping advance optional. Anyhow, great game, Corey. I love that we were both in it to the end, and thanks for watching, everyone.